Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Unique. This is your host, Dr. Akudo Ehirim, and for today's topic, we're going to be discussing disability. What is disability? How do different cultures look at disability? Where can we go get help? Where do parents go to get help for their children? Children for their siblings? Grandparents for their grandchildren? Where do we go to get help? And for today's show, I have in the studio Mrs. Ijeoma Ajoku, who is a disability advocate and a job coach specialist. Ijeoma Ajoku, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Like I said earlier on, what is disability? Ijeoma, can you tell the audience a little bit, what is disability?
Disability means different things to different people.
Okay.
Somebody, I'll use you as an example if you don't mind.
That's okay.
Is that a prescription classes?
Yes, ma'am.
To me, I would consider it if I had it as a disability and I'm getting the right accommodation to enable me to see. So, but to somebody else, they might not consider it disability and they might find it very offensive if you say they had a disability. So disability means different things to different people. Or somebody that is in a wheelchair, somebody that learns differently. Somebody that has autism. Autism is big now. So every disability is different. One size does not fit all.
Oh. You said something about my prescription glasses. I remember when I came to this country newly and I went to see my doctor, and my doctor told me, do you know low vision is disability? And I looked at him like, why would he say I'm disabled? I'm not disabled. And then he explained to me that because you need glasses or you need something to enable you see is considered disability. And I also heard that diabetes is considered disability depending on the stage of diabetes you have. So it all depends, like what you said, on who is looking at it, what you think it is. We only consider disability people on the wheelchair, people that are blind, people that we can see their disability. And just like you said, learning disability is a disability. So many other things are disability. Now, let us take it back home a little bit. In the African community, we don't like that word, disabled. Why do you think that is?
I think it's the culture. I think the shame, because I can speak for Nigeria because I'm a Nigerian.
Okay.
Sometimes, even growing up in Nigeria, if a woman has a child with disability, some people might say that maybe you've been punished for what you did wrong.
In the past, yes.
So because of that, parents are so ashamed, in-laws are so ashamed because you feel as a woman it's your fault. So in Nigerian culture, I have a friend, he's here in the United States now. He has his PhD. But I spoke to him, and he's 100% blind. Let me just put it that way. And he became blind when he was 6 years old with measles in Nigeria. He told me when he was in Nigeria, he did everything to pretend like he wasn't blind, even if he's bumping his head on the wall. When he came here, he wanted to continue with that, and they wanted him to use a white cane to walk. And he told me that he told his counselor that he does not want anybody to know there's something wrong with him.
We are ashamed.
Ashamed. And he said that the counselor told him, they will know something is wrong with you because he was in his 20s. He says, you don't want to walk with a cane because you don't want somebody to know you have a disability. But it's okay for you
to bump your head on the wall.
And not only that, for another person to be holding your hand and be walking you down the street. So don't you know people will know that there's something wrong because somebody is helping you to walk. So when he came here, because of the communication, because of the acceptance, he was able to accept his disability. So I believe with Nigeria, we have a long way to go. But somebody like you and advocates like myself, that we have to say there's nothing to be ashamed of. We are all unique in our own way.
And I like that. And that's what the show is all about. We are unique in our own way. Because I can't see very well doesn't make me less of a human being.
Right.
Because I'm sick with something or I have a learning disability doesn't make me less of a human being. We are in this great country where there is help out there. You just have to be able to say, no, I shouldn't be ashamed of this. And you said something, I want to ask you to highlight a little bit on that. You said something about back home in our culture, when a woman gives birth to a disabled child, it is assumed she's been punished for something she did. Can you say a little bit more on that?
Which is so wrong. Because I say, I'm a Christian. I don't mind using that. Nobody decides. I did not decide who my parents are going to be.
Exactly.
You did not decide who your parents are going to be. You did not decide the color of your skin, your height.
Yes,
so why should you be ashamed of something you have
no control over?
Exactly. So why should you be ashamed? Nobody wants to be disabled. We're not saying that disability is something, you know.
It's a crime.
It's a crime. And, you know, you have every right when you have a child. When a woman is pregnant, everybody's happy, looking forward to having a healthy child. It's okay when that baby is born and there's a disability to be disappointed. And it's okay to cry sometimes. But when you finish crying, when the world knocks you down, you get up and you can keep going.
Exactly.
Instead of hiding. Why are you hiding? I tell people, that child, they are 2 years old, 3 years old. Why do you care so much about what people think? When the Lord calls you home, who is going to take care of that child?
That's true.
That's why I tell people, so don't worry about what James says, or Peter says, or Ngozi says, or Nick. I said, focus on your child. Because that child is unique. They will sense it. If you reject them or you're ashamed of them, how do you want the world to see them? You set an example of how the world should see your child, and they feel it, even if the child does not see it. When you reject them, they have low self-esteem. How are they going to function in the world? So that's why we tell all Africans and people in general, we are all special in our own way. I might believe that I'm perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect.
I believe we all have our own disabilities.
Issues, exactly.
With me, with driving, I was telling one of my friends, you can give me direction.
You get lost.
Tell me to make a left or make a right. I'll make a right and get lost 20 times. So what I do now, I'm very time conscious. So if I have an appointment like 2 o'clock, I leave home like 9. Because I know by the time I make the wrong turns,
you will get there.
I'll get to where I'm going.
Exactly.
Should I be ashamed
no.
of asking for help? Because I don't want anybody, because I want everybody to know that I have it together. So the same thing with disability, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Are we saying that it's a wonderful thing? But it's not. But that's the hand you dealt with. So you have to get up. Love your child, love your cousin, love your friend, love your sister. Like we say in Africa, it takes a village to raise a child.
And that's a very important thing. It takes a village to raise a child. Like you were saying earlier on, when a woman is pregnant, everybody is excited. Oh, she's going to have a boy, she's going to have a girl, she's going to have this child. And then immediately we notice something is wrong with the child. Everybody goes their separate ways. It's like the mother is ashamed because now something is wrong with my child. Maybe people are looking at me that I did something wrong. Most times it has broken up homes.
Yes.
The husbands walk away. The wives walk away because they think my wife must have done something to make this child look this way or something wrong with the child. So what do you tell families, especially husband and wife relationships, when there is a disabled child in the family?
I used to go to churches and I'll talk to the churches to give me about 10 or 15 minutes to talk to the congregation, because I know I have to be careful with Nigerians, because if you approach them directly, they might not like it. So they give me about 10 to 15 minutes and I talk to the congregation and I say, like I always say, disability means different things to different people, and I'll let them know the services that are out there. This is your child. This is your gift. You have to love this child. You have to take care of this child. I said, most importantly, disability does not mean there are some people that have disability that go to law school, that are doctors, that are lawyers, but there are also some people that buy groceries, and there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with
that. Or when you have a child, all you have to do is advocate for that child. Learn everything that is out there for that child to live the best possible life. To live the best possible life. Because even people with disability, not everybody is a doctor, not everybody is a lawyer. So that's a special child, just like you're a special parent. So your goal as a parent, husband and wife, is to raise that child. Look into their strength. We have our weaknesses and we have our strength.
Exactly.
Don't focus on
their weaknesses.
Focus on their strength and help them. From there, they can live the best possible life. I look at Steve Wonders. Can you imagine if his parents were so focused that he couldn't see and
He
neglected,
wouldn't have been who he
is.
yeah,
Look at his
exactly.
voice. He
Look at
focused on his
on
voice.
his strength.
Look
That's
at
right.
that child. Every person has a unique gift. Tap into that strength and help that child to be the best possible person they can be. Even if the disability is so severe that they are not able to go to work, but they are still unique. They still can function and love themselves and feel loved.
And you see, another thing for parents out there, please, 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 I'm asking, it takes two to tango. Your wife didn't get pregnant by herself.
That's right.
She didn't have this baby by herself.
That's right.
You, as the man, you were part of this. Now that this child is here, let us all work as a team. This child needs help. This child needs accommodation. This child needs acceptance, tolerance, and we have to do it together. Because when two of you are getting into it, when two elephants fight, it's always the grass that gets hot. It's your child that gets hot. Because you are so busy trying to hide your child from the world, your child will be denied help. Your child will be denied the necessary things they need to function and thrive in the society. Let's not worry about what people say. Like my pastor will always say, people will talk as long as you are alive. The only time people will not talk is when you're dead.
Yes, sir.
So talk to people, talk to the audience about what people say. How does it affect who you are? Does it change who you are? Should it change who you are? Talk to them about that.
I was watching LeBron James. I forgot what year that he lost the championship. And I was impressed by what he said. Because one of the reporters said to him, how do you feel that people are so happy that you lost the championship? And he said, I know who I am.
Exactly.
I'm very proud of myself. People can laugh at me. People can dance on the street. But at the end of the day, when they finish laughing, everybody still have to go home and face their problem.
Exactly.
So people can talk about your child. People can laugh at your child. But it doesn't take away their problems. That's how you have to. People are going to talk. You don't base your self-worth on what people say about you.
Exactly.
Your focus should be on that child and find the help that child needs. And sometimes it's not just the child, because disability, like I said, can come in an adult.
In adults
Somebody can go out there. I'm a job coach. I've worked with doctors. I've worked with lawyers. I've worked with accountants. I've worked with people that worked at Walmart. They were just going to work or minding their business, and they had a car accident.
And that was it, and they became disabled.
And became disabled.
Yes.
You know, are you going to abandon your brother? When he was a doctor, you loved him.
Exactly.
Now that due to brain injury, he's no longer a doctor. Are you going to abandon? Or are you going to help, do research, knowledge is power, and see what you can do to help your brother or your sister or your friend live the best possible life?
Right. That's true.
So that's what you have to do. Forget about what everybody else is saying. If you have a best friend, you guys have been best friends since elementary school.
Childhood, exactly.
They can have stroke. They have to relearn everything. Are you going to stop visiting him or her because you don't want your friends to know? That's when they need you the most.
That's when they
And
need
I always say, it could be you at any time.
It can happen to anybody.
It could be you at any time. Disability doesn't know color, it doesn't know gender, it doesn't know race. Just because you're not born with disability does not guarantee you might not get it.
Exactly.
People are getting older. By the time people are 70, 80, different kinds of diseases and disabilities come, you know.
Exactly.
So sometimes I get upset when people say you people. I'm like, what do you mean you people? This is a unique human being that God created. I'm a Christian, so I use God.
Exactly.
You know, so this is, what do you mean you people? You're supposed to support, you're supposed to love, you're supposed to cherish. And that's what we're supposed to do. And as a parent, and that's what you're supposed to do, you are the number one. And as grandma, because in Nigerian culture, to grandparents, they go a long way.
They go a long way. Even in this culture,
yes,
grandparents go a
long way. And in-laws, Nigeria, they go a long way.
That's true.
Sister-in-laws,
they go a long way too.
They go a long way. Why would you be mad at your brother's wife for having a child with disability? Everybody wants to have it. We can talk about this all day, but you have to do. Knowledge is power. How can you get help?
And there's something you said. I like what you said, and I hope, and I wanted to say something about it too. I like what you said. You said disability knows no race, knows no gender. Disability doesn't care you're rich. Disability doesn't care if you're poor. Disability can happen to anyone. And you said something again, audience. She said, you might not be born with disability, but you might end up having one. It can happen to anybody. Just because you're healthy today doesn't mean you might not be disabled tomorrow. So put yourself in that person's position. If you become disabled tomorrow, do you want all your friends and loved ones to desert you? Don't desert your friend because she is disabled now. The problem, we are so ashamed of what people will say. It doesn't matter what people say.
No.
You are unique and special in your own way. And it's high time we begin to be proud of who we are. Remember, like I always say, audience, nobody is going to blow your horn for you. You are the only person that is going to blow your horn. If you don't tell people you are special, you don't value yourself, nobody around you will. If you don't believe in yourself, how do you make me believe in you if you can't even believe in yourself? So parents out there is help. Now let's get to the help. Tell us, Ijeoma, where do we go for help?
It depends, there are different levels.
Okay.
And let's talk within the United States or in the state of Georgia.
Okay.
In K through 12, in the school system, every school district has special education department. They do evaluation, they do assessment for kids with special needs or kids that, they think has disability.
Exactly.
And once the person is diagnosed, they provide services for that child until they finish high school. Then let's go to college. Because when you go off to college, it becomes different because when you go off to college, you're not dealing with ADA
anymore.
You have to advocate for yourself.
For yourself.
You have to, that's why when they're in elementary school, if those are elementary school, self-advocacy is very important. Some parents don't want their kids to know they have a disability. How can you advocate for yourself if you don't know
you don't even know you're disabled?
Okay. So when they become adults, they have to advocate for themselves. So disability services at the university level or community college level, they will help you with that. That's through the school system.
Okay.
In education. Then, as a job coach or supportive employment specialist, when you finish school, let's say you stopped at 12th grade. 12th grade, okay. And you learn some trade, or that's the best you can do. That's where Voc Rehab Agency comes in. Okay. It's called Voc Rehab, Vocational Rehabilitation Agency. Okay. Their job and their responsibility is to help people with disability get jobs. So they help with job training. Sometimes they help pay for college. And I tell people, Voc Rehab sometimes will help you pay for college, but they don't help you with the admission. So you have to get the admission. Get the admission and then they will help you pay for it. Okay. So with job, then if you need training, let's somebody that finished high school and they need training before they can go into the workforce, they help with that. And that's where I come in as a job coach. I meet with the client, and there are so many job coaches out there, and there are other agencies like Thomas Nobles, Briggs & Associates. They do assessment. They can help the person learn some trade. And sometimes you go to Kruger, you go to Coffee, you go to different places, you see people with disability working.
Okay. So that's how they get the job.
They get the job through the job coaches of Voc Rehab agencies, Thomas Nobles, and they help them get the job and help them maintain the job. Or somebody is already at the job and is having some issues. To save the job, they will call Voc Rehab. You have to call them and let them know that you need
the issues you're having.
Then they'll send somebody to do job safe. Sometimes I go into different organizations, talk to the management, talk to them and see what's going on. For an example, let's say I have a client that's on a wheelchair. Okay. And in the office, they have a printer that is centered in one area. Everybody has to go to that printer. It takes him or her a long time to get there. That's where Voc Rehab comes in, to see what they can do with the assistive technology department, do some assessment, and see what they can do to accommodate. So accommodation. There are so many ways to help. But the key is start from the beginning. What help do they need? How can they get the help? Know the right help to get. It's like, and you have to be very careful. That's why I always said, I am an advocate. I'm not a specialist. I'm not an autism specialist. I'm not a psychologist. So it's good to know whom to go for help.
Because if somebody wants to go meet needs help in artistic area and they are coming to you, that is the wrong place
That's
to
the wrong
go.
place to go.
That's the wrong place to go. But if somebody needs their job saved,
yes,
or they need placement in a job, you are the right person to talk to.
Yeah.
Okay.
They need somebody to empower them. Okay. That's why I'm coming.
Okay.
It's like, I always say that, it's like you're pregnant. Instead of going to a gynecologist, you're going to a dentist.
The dentist. Okay.
That's a good example. So to help, you have to know where to go for the help.
To go for the right help.
So it's very important. So if they need more information, we can always provide them with that. But you have to know where to go to, and you have to know whom to talk to. Talking of Nigeria again, I always say that we have so many doctors that didn't go to medical school. So you have to know whom you get an advice from.
That's true.
Because this person will tell you this, and this person will tell you, do your research. Don't base it on what your friend here said. That's the way you can help your child. And there are so many services out there. Even in Nigeria, I logged into my Facebook. A friend of mine put autism awareness.
Wow, that's nice.
In Abuja. So it's
spreading.
It's spreading.
The news is spreading.
So even in Nigeria, it doesn't have to be here. Wherever you are, there are services out there. You just, with technology, you can search for it. You can find it. And that's the way you can help. Let's say you have a friend that was involved in a car accident, we say all the time. Where do you go for help with somebody with brain injury? In Georgia here, we have the Shepherd Center.
It's called the Shepherd Center?
Yes. Okay. They deal with injuries.
Injuries, okay.
So I try to be very careful. So what we do or what I do, I don't have the answers, but I can.
You can connect them to the people that can give them the answers.
So don't come to me or an advocate, at least for myself. I don't know the answers, but I can point you to the right direction.
To the right direction.
Or sometimes I get some parents, their kids were diagnosed, and they are crying so much, and they cry and they cry. That's why I come in as an advocate. We put the napkins together, we cry together, then we wipe out our tears. I'm like,
and then pick up the pieces and move on.
Where do we go from here?
Exactly.
So that's what I do as an advocate. And I do a lot of presentation for organizations. And what I do is empowerment. Just love our kids, love our people. So that's what is very important, and that's where I come from. And that must advocate to the best of my knowledge, because I have to be careful and speak for myself.
For yourself, exactly. You have to speak for yourself. And you said something about, a while back, you said something about when parents are not proud of the children they have because they're disabled, it affects a child's self-esteem.
Yes.
Can you highlight a little bit on that?
You know, there's a lot of bullying.
In school?
In school.
Yes.
Even family, friends. I know a lot of bullying, and a child wants to be accepted so bad, right? Let's say a child has disability, and the parents are so ashamed. The school system is calling, or whoever is calling.
All the time.
Calling to get help, and you say there's nothing wrong with that child. That child knows something is wrong with him or her.
Because he already knows that he is not like everybody
else.
He knows that.
And if you don't address it and let them know, okay, let's say you have learning disability. Okay. You are not stupid. It's just that you learn differently.
Exactly.
Then that's how that child will feel loved. But if you say, oh, there's nothing wrong with him, of course there's something wrong with him. Others will be getting A's, and he's getting D's. He would think that he's stupid.
And then he begins to believe
that he's stupid.
Because something is definitely wrong.
with him.
And each time the child comes to the mom is telling you, no, nothing is wrong with you. And this child knows something is wrong because the teacher is saying something for the past 3 weeks. The teacher is teaching a topic and he doesn't grasp it. He doesn't understand it. And he's trying to explain to his mom. And the mom is saying, no, nothing is wrong with you. Just pay more attention. This child knows. And after some time, it begins to affect who he is.
And they think they're stupid. And that's where they try to fit in. Because let's say in high school, they're having prom or they're having party and nobody invites them, to that party. How do you think that? Because maybe they might think they are weird, but they are not weird. But if that child knows that they have a disability and is advocating for themselves, people are wonderful. Then he's getting the accommodation that he needs. Then he's able to, to adjust to the school environment to the best possible way. Then maybe they can invite him or her to events, but it's okay. I tell parents, don't make a big deal. Everybody is different. There are some people that are quiet. Your child does not have to have 10 friends or 20 friends. One friend is enough.
Is enough.
Even if they don't want to have any friend, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them, because some people are so private. Don't push it and think that something is wrong with them because they don't have to. Don't compare them to other people. That's another way of, individuality. Let them
Be
be
who
whom
they are.
Yes.
Exactly. Let them. And you see something about children, sometimes we give them less credit. Children are smarter than we think. They are very smart. They might not put their finger on it, but they know something is definitely wrong. There was, you see, and education is power. When we empower our children, like you said, they can advocate for themselves. I met this little girl, and this girl walked up to me. I had a candy, so I offered the candy to her. I said, "Do you want one?" She looked at me and said, "Does it have sugar?" I was shocked because this is an 8-year-old. I said, "Why did you ask that question?" She told me, "Because I have diabetes. I don't take sugar because I take insulin." I was shocked. I said, "Who told you that?" He said, "My mom." And then the mom walked to me and told me, "Oh no, she can't have that." I was very proud.
That's right.
Most of our parents don't do that.
Don't do that.
We think it's okay to hide it because we think the neighbors are talking. We think that our family friend is going to talk. Sometimes when we have visitors, we send our children to their room.
That's right.
That disabled child is locked up upstairs in the bedroom because we don't want people to see. When we go to parties, we lock them up. When people ask you, "Hey, how is this child?" You say, "Oh, or we take them to Nigeria," like you said. We should not be ashamed.
No.
These people are created. I'm a Christian, so I believe that we are beautifully and wonderfully made.
Yes, sir.
And I am a strong believer that God doesn't make junk. God can never create junk. So whatever way you think your child is, that's the way your child was meant to be. And there is a purpose for it. You just have to, like you said, cry, wipe your eyes, get up and do something about it.
Yes,
Go out there and get help for your child. Because if your child can learn how to function in this community, in the society where your child is living, I think that will make your child a happier person. And then you help boost their self-esteem. When we have a teenager, like you said something about bullying, I always tell people, bullies are cowards. They try to bully you so that they can take the attention of themselves. So when that lady or that woman is busy talking about your child, talking about what is wrong with you, talking about how you walk, how you talk, how you look, she can see, she's blind or whatever, they are busy talking about you because they don't want you to talk about them. So we shouldn't bother ourselves about those. We should just move on and know that your child is this way, but your child can still function. Like you said, you have seen disabled people that are doctors, that are engineers, that are whatever they want to be. There is a saying I know that says, always aim for the sky, so that even if you fall on the moon, you're still up there.
That's true.
You know, so give your child expectations. Give them high hopes. Even when they don't get to where you want them to get, at least they are still up there.
That's true.
So any other thing you want to say before we leave?
I want to say, I will say my people as an advocate. We are a very proud country. We are Africa is a big it's a continent that I've worked with different people. I just want us to focus on our children and know that disability can happen to anybody. Like I said before, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Nobody wants to be disabled. But if you become disabled, look for help. There's services out there to help our children. Sometimes I even call grown people children. Our adults, our grandma, our grandpa, our granddad. You know,
yes.
There's service out there. Knowledge is power. Don't be ashamed. Don't hide. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. Because there are so many wonderful people out there in Nigeria, in Ghana, all parts of Africa, in United States. And if you're blessed to be in United States, my goodness, there are so many services out there to help your child. Even if you have a child, because some of our children are so severely disabled that if they're going to wear diaper for the rest of their life, that wonderful man is still unique. There's help for them in this country. There's their program. Because if you hide your child in the house, if you have a severe child, keep hiding them in the house. What are they going to do when they become 21, 22, 23?
And you can't hide them anymore.
You can't hide them anymore.
Exactly.
Let's say you have somebody, you bring your mom or somebody to help them, to take care of them, and you don't have those people anymore, and they get to 22, you can't leave them at home to go to work. What are you going to do? Because you're afraid if you leave them at home, they'll burn the house down. So we have to know that our children, our people are special, and as parents, I tell you, think about that child when the Lord calls you home. what's going to happen to that child. That's why you have to start very early in life to advocate for them, love them, search everywhere for support, anything you can do to help them be the best they can be, even if it's bagging groceries, even if it's going to a day program where they sit and hang around
other people and then come back home.
Yeah, they're happy. Everybody is happy at different levels. Some people can only be happy if they are doctors. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But some of our kids are happy bagging groceries, playing games. The most important thing is to live the best possible life. And it's only us that can help them achieve that. Like we say that all the time. It takes a village to raise a child. So our churches, a lot of Nigerians have different organizations. We have to focus on our people with disability, because I feel that's just me, that sometimes we talk about other things
and neglect
that. We do fundraising for this and fundraising for that and fundraising for that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't see it. So we should try, me, you, everybody, focus on letting their light shine. Help them be the best possible. The same way we have graduation parties, this person went to medical school, this one, let's celebrate life, because every life is unique and special.
I like that. To our audience, today is a special day, because this is a topic that is very close to me and very close to her too. We have so many disabled adults and children out there, but we are so busy hiding from the society, hiding from the community, because we think people are going to laugh at us. Let them laugh if they need to. We are in a country where we have help. Go out there and get help for your child, for your grandparents, for your friends, your family friend. Go out there and get help. Every life, like she said, is unique. We are celebrating graduation. We are celebrating this and celebrating that. When do we celebrate our children that are disabled? When do we honor them and tell them it's okay? You might be different, it's okay. I always tell children that have disability, sweetie, you're not disabled. You are just different. We are all different. We learn differently. We talk differently. We smile differently. We walk differently. Because I wear glasses, I just tell my children, I see differently. Like you see differently. It's just what it's all about. Let us go out there and get help for our children. Remember, your child, your family member, your parents, we are all unique and special in our own way. God cannot make junk. Don't let nobody tell you any differently. No matter what people out there are saying, you are you, and you should be proud of who you are. Because God created you the way you are. There is a reason you are in this world. You said your friend has a doctorate degree, and he's blind. He is fulfilling his purpose. Whatever he's doing, he's fulfilling it. He wouldn't have done that if he was hiding in his basement. He wouldn't have done that if he was hiding in his bedroom. He did that because he went out there and said, hey, I need help. Even the Bible says that healthy people don't go to the hospital. Sick people go to the hospital because you're looking for help. You're looking for something to make you feel better. If you are sick out there, it is not something to be ashamed of. Get up and go get help. That is why we are here. Call Ijeoma. There are numbers out there. Go out there. Go on the internet. Solve for yourself. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is not a waste. It's power. Go out there and get help. And for the community where we come from, African community, don't be ashamed of disability. Don't be ashamed of that child that is disabled. Get up and aim for the sky. Remember, you are wonderfully and beautifully made. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.